Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nayati krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nanda kumaraya govindaya namo namaha. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. So we will continue our discussion from 6th canto, where we are discussing about Vritrasur. So we have seen how Vritrasur, he left he left his body and he went to spiritual world. So his glorious pastime, his wonderful prayers, how he instructs Indra, what is his consciousness while dying. So all those things we have discussed. So now after hearing this pastime, we also discussed how Indra, he was afflicted with sinful reactions and he suffered for a long time, 1 year, and again he came back and again he attained the kingdom. So this is how that story was narrated. So now here, after hearing this, like everyone will get this doubt that he is such a, like he was born in a Rakshasa family, demon family, but he had this wonderful devotee, so wonderful devotional qualities. How is it that he has those qualities, those, how he has become a devotee? So that is his doubt he expresses. So for that, the story of Chitraketu, as we know, that is being narrated. So we'll see this. So this first discussion is about rarity of a devotee. So which we will discuss with little detail. So where Parikshit Maharaj is kind of asking that generally people in this world that are in general these demons, they are all having this Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So how is that Vritrasur, he has this body of demon who is generally Rajogun and Tamogun, and he has developed this kind of bhakti towards Narayana. And in general, the rarity of bhakti, he is saying that this bhakti is even rare for even the devatas who are situated in Sattvaguna. He uses the word Shuddha Sattvana, but here the meaning of Shuddha Sattva is like they are predominantly in the mood of goodness. And also the rishis who are like very pure, for them also the bhakti towards Mukunda, in general, it will not arise. So that is because if there is no association of devotees, the bhakti will not get generated. Even he is in Sattva-guna, he is in purified their consciousness. They may develop jnana, but the bhakti they will not develop. So then he asks about, like he says this, how rare it is for a devotee, like how rare a devotee. For that he quotes that, okay, I'll just share Bhagavatam. He says there are so many living entities in this world, which are like how, like atoms are the dust particles. So many dust particles, so many there, we cannot count even. So those many living entities are there. Out of them, tesham ye kechan ehante, only few people, they work for their religious principles, for their benefit. So out of them who follow dharma, only few people desire liberation. Prayo mumukshuvastesham kechaneva dvijottama. Only few people, they desire liberation. And even who are desiring liberation, mumukshunam sahasreshu kaschin muccheta. Only few people, they attain liberation. And siddhyati, even like jiva muccheta or siddhyati is achieve perfection. So here two terms are used. We will discuss these things in connection with Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur purport also, this shloka and next shloka also. So here he is saying that like there are so many living entities in this world, right? Out of them, if you consider the people, even human beings also, out of them they are very, very small. Out of human beings also, those who practice dharma, they are even rarer. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while discussing with Sanatana Goswami, also says these things. So many people, so many living entities are there. Out of them, humans are very less. Out of them, those who desire to practice dharma, they are also very less. And even practicing dharma, they may practice dharma for, in general, for artha and kama. Like in general in this world, if someone doesn't practice dharma, the artha and kama they attain, they are very like temporary. They will not stay for long. So therefore, people understanding that they may practice dharma to gain artha and kama. But out of them also, people who understand this kama and artha, they are not giving complete satisfaction. So I want to get out of this miseries and attain permanent happiness. So they are called as mumukshuvas. They like those who desire liberation. So out of them, mumukshunam sahasresu kaschin muccheta siddhati. So out of them who are so thousands of people who are desiring liberation, very few people become muccheta. They become kind of liberated, or it is like kind of jivan mukta they may become. And out of them also, few may become siddhyati. Siddhyati here means they attain kind of liberation, sahajya mukti, which is if that is their goal. So here Prabhupada also talks about like here in terms of varnashrama dharma, like many people practice dharma to attain artha and kama. Out of them, few people want to attain liberation. And out of them, like means basically out of liberation means they may take to the vanaprastha life. And out of them, mumukshunam sahasreshu kaschin muccheta, out of them vanaprastha, some people may seriously take to sannyasi, and even for people who are taking sannyas, some people may attain liberation. So in that way, Prabhupada also gives this. And then next shloka is important. We will discuss about this. We will recite and discuss. Muktanamapi siddhanam narayana parayanah sudurlabha prasantatma kotishvapi mahamune. Anyone would like to recite? Yes, Premanand bro.
Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana sudurlabha prasanatma kotishvapi mahamune. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Lakshmi Mataji.
मुक्तानामपि सिद्धानां नारायणापरायणः सुदुर्लभा प्रशान्तात्मा कोटिष्वपि महामुनि.
Hare Krishna. Divya Gauranga Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Muktanamapi siddhanam narayana parayanaha sudurlabha prashantatma kotishu api mahamune. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Guru Vandana Mataji.
मुक्तानामपि सिद्धानां नारायण परायण सुदुर्लभ प्रशान्तात्मा कोटीश्वर अपि महामुनि.
Hare Krishna. So here, what he is saying is that Parikshit Maharaj is basically saying this. Out of all the liberated people or people who are like kind of achieved perfection, Narayana Parayana, the people who are completely dedicated to Narayana, they are very rare, Sudurlabha, very rarely found, and Pashantatma, fully pacified, Kotishvapi Mahamuna. So that person, even among millions of people, that person is very rare. So in that way he is saying. So what is this Kotishvapi Sudurlabha? For that Prabhupada quotes two verses from Madhvacharya who quoted that there are so many devatas are there, 90 million devatas are there, Navakotyastu Devanam, and 70 Rushya Sapta Kotaya, like Navakoti, 9 crores, Sapta Koti, 7 crores Rishis are there. Out of them, they are all Narayanaya, like maybe devotees of Lord Narayana, but among them only few are Tat Parayana, completely dedicated. And the difference is saying, the difference between the Siddhas and Narayan Parayanas is that direct devotees are Narayan Para, means only performing worship for the Lord without any other practices. Whereas those who perform various types of other mystic yoga, they are all called Siddhas. In this way, Narayana Para means by completely dedicating to the Lord. So they are so rare. They are telling. So this discussion Prabhupada he gives Jivan Mukta and these things. So these are actually from Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. So we will see the comments from Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, so that very like many doubts will be cleared if we understand Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur purport. So we will read that so that we will go into little depth, so that what is this different types of liberation we often hear, those are at least clarified in this purport, so which will clear many doubts in other areas also. So I'm just sharing this. So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, he is saying that there are two terms that are used, Muccheta Siddhati. So Muccheta means, he says, these are people who have attained Jivan Mukta stage. Siddhyati means one who attains to spiritual world, means those who have become attained spiritual world or attained perfection or merging into the Brahman. So that is these are the two words. So here Muktanam api Siddhanam Narayana Parayana, what he is saying this, among those people who are Muktanam, who are Jivan Muktas, and among those people even who have achieved perfection like Brahman realization or merging into the Brahman, the Narayana Parayana is not among those people. It is like not like, we should not be say among those people, because Narayana Parayana is like different category. So greater than these two people are the devotee of Lord Narayana. So, and such a devotee who is in different rasas with the Lord, he is very rare even among koti, even among 10 million people. So that is what he is saying. So we'll see the meaning. So he said that there are so many people, they may attain perfection, and like for that categories he is saying, many perform sadhana for liberation but do not attain liberation. So that means there are so many people who want liberation but only few attain. So those who become liberated, they are called jivan bhakta. And means they are like those who become liberated, they are called as jivan mukta. Among jivan muktas also, only few people may become perfect. That's why this word siddhanam is used. So they are called as siddhanam. So two categories he is mentioning. One is mumukshunam. This is one category who desire liberation. And out of them who has attained jivan mukta stage, they are called as muktanam. Out of them also, after attaining jivan muktas, attaining perfection, merging into the Brahman. So they are called as siddhana. So the three categories are mentioned. So he is saying that among people who have become jivan mukta, who have attained like merging into the Lord, siddhi or perfection, and everyone will not become, because even if they are jivan muktas, if they commit offense to the Lord, they again become entangled. So not that all the jivan muktas become perfect. So those who attain perfection, then they may gain liberation sayujya, merging in the Brahman. So but the devotee of Narayana is rarer than among these people. So here he is saying that we should not say that among those Narayan Parayana is rarer, because among those he is not Narayan Parayana. So here the what we should say is superior to Muktanam and Siddhanam, superior to liberated and perfected beings is the Narayan Parayana devotee. So now he, in order to explain this, he categorizes jnana into two categories. One is pure jnana and another is jnana which has little element of bhakti. So with pure jnana, if someone wants to attain liberation, then Lord Brahmaji, he always quotes this shloka which says that by pure jnana one can not attain liberation, right? So this pure jnana without bhakti, tinge of bhakti, that is like beating an humpty husk for grain. This I think we have discussed many times this shloka, that if someone already the empty husk, if rice is removed from that husk, and only that empty husk is being thrashed, no grains will come. So similarly, one practices jnana without any tinge of bhakti, he will not attain any perfection. So that is ruled out. There are now two more cases, jnana mixed with bhakti. So jnana has some element of bhakti. So in this also two varieties are there. So in which bhakti, if someone offends the form of the Lord, and someone doesn't offend the form of the Lord. If someone offends the form of the Lord thinking that Lord's form is material, which is mixed with the gunas, so in that way, if they think that Brahman, when it is in touch with the modes, that became Bhagavan. So therefore, in that way, they are kind of offending the Lord. So then they think that they are liberated, but actually they will not attain that perfection, siddhyati. They will not liberated. So that's what when the shloka in the Bhagavatam, when it says Vayastabhavad avishuddha buddhaya, they will aruhya kruchrena. This also we often hear, Prabhupada often quotes. So these people, when they are anadruta yushmadangrayaha, when they are not giving respect to the lotus feet of the Lord, that means thinking that lotus feet is the material form, then they will fall down from their position. So that means they will not attain liberation. That same thing is also quoted in Gita also, that u avajananti mam muda leta moga shamo karmana. This implies if someone thinks Lord's form and as material, and if they offends in that way the Lord's form, then they will not attain the goals of their respective practices. So mogasha, if someone is karmi, if he is offending the Lord, they will not attain their goal of material happiness. And if someone is jnana, and if they is offending the Lord's form, they will not achieve the perfection of their goal, which is attaining liberation. So in this way, these verses are quoted. So this is one category. So another category is that second type is that jnana mixed with bhakti, where they are not offending the form of the Lord, which is means proper form of the Lord. So what will happen? So by that bhakti, with little bit bhakti, so when they practice jnana, there is an event of vidya. So after some time they will give up that jnana. So there is vidya which will create liberation, and that will be removed. So only bhakti, small portion of bhakti will remain when jnana is given up. So with that bhakti, when that is bhakti is not offensive to the Lord, so that bhakti makes him attain perfection of his desired goal of merging in Brahman. So therefore, these he quotes these two shlokas which from Bhagavad Gita, which are also we have previously discussed, that Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Nashochiti Nakanchiti, means he has attained perfection. Then at that stage he attained Mad Bhaktin Labate Param. So here different interpretations are there by different acharyas. So this interpretation is by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, that he will attain Prema Bhakti, this small bhakti which is there. By that small bhakti, he will attain his goal as Brahman, if he wants to desire Brahman. So then, even persons who are desiring that Brahman, if by chance he attains the association of a pure devotee, that time he may turn into a devotee, pure bhakta also. So in this way, that the devotee or a yoga, like yoga cycle according to Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, is that he practices karma, then jnana, then he gives up that jnana, and then through little bhakti he will attain that merging into Brahman. But at that time, if he attains the association of pure devotee, then he may become a devotee and he may attain the Lord's abode also. And if he attains the mercy of a Shanta Bhakta devotee, he attains Shanta Bhakti. And other types of bhakti, if he gets association, he will become into that type of bhakti. So in that way, these three categories of jnana, they are discussed, right? So Siddhivyau Parikshit Maharaj is asking questions about bhakti, the rarity of Narayana Parayana. So, and then he asks, please, I am that this Vritrasur, he has attained this nature. So he is causing so much suffering to other people in the battlefield, but he kind of attained this kind of perfection. So how is it that he got this? So then hearing that, he has even caused happiness, like he pleased Indra in battle, so much he has this power. So how is it that he got this much power? So like that he asked. So then Shukadeva Goswami, hearing that, he was very much pleased with these questions, and he started answering. So this is the story of Chitraketu, which many of us may know. So here Chitraketu, he was the ruler of the entire kingdom, Shurasena kingdom, and it was mentioned that while he was ruling, the earth produced all kinds of necessities, because he was a pious ruler. We know earth will produce all these things. So, but he is having so many opulences, but he doesn't have a children. So he married so many wives. that to in order to get children, but he did not get children. So because of that, he was like kind of completely in full of anxiety. Although he had so many other opulences like beauty, youth, family, education, power, wealth. So many things are there, but he was only thinking about the thing that he doesn't have. So like there is no happiness only. So this is like one thing we can notice, that like we may have so many other opulences, but when we focus on the thing that we don't have, that will cause a lot of unhappiness on us. So sometimes based on our like based on the destiny or by the Lord's will, we may achieve some things or we may not achieve some things. So the satisfaction in general that is being talked is like be satisfied with whatever we have and perform bhakti. So that's how the Bhagavatam always directs us, that don't endure so much for material things. Whatever be they are there, sukha, dukkha, or things, be satisfied, and you be satisfied. That is called like some satisfaction, principles of satisfaction, and perform your bhakti. Don't endeavor so much for things which are difficult to attain. Utilize all those things in pleasing the Lord. So that's how Bhagavatam directs us. But here, Chitraketu, he was like, he has so many other opulences, but he was focusing on his son not having children, and he was thinking that I will not get my pinda dan, so therefore I have to suffer in hell. So in this way, he is like kind of lamenting. So in that lamentation, so one time the like one time Angira Muni had come. So when Angira Muni had come, he nicely worshipped Angira Muni. So Angira Muni, he started addressing that, O Chitraketu, is everything in your is everything well with you? And if you see these talks of Angira Muni, he is like, he's a Brahmana and he is addressing a Kshatriya. Kshatriya is the one who is protecting all the people. So he is like kind of in general talks about how a king should rule. Some principles also he speaks. So where he says that how are you? Is everything going well in your kingdom? And you are all being protected by your kingdom. He talks about 7 elements. A king is protected by 7 elements in general. So those 7 elements are like guru, like who is guiding him, and ministers who are assisting and giving suggestions, friends who are his well-wishers, treasury, his kosha, he has to check about his amounts, wealth, population is praja, people, and fort, Durga, which is like protecting his kingdom from enemies, and strength kind of like these different like people who are supporting the kingdom. So actually this topic is like in Bhagavatam, in Mahabharata, there is a huge discussion that how a king should be ruling. In that discussion in Shanti Parva, like discussion of Bhishma Deva and Yudhishthir, there Bhishma Deva also quotes these things, that king, how he has to protect all these 7 elements, and by that a king will be protected. So how a king should rule, all those things, if one wants to know, Shanti Parva one can read. Means in general, king or a leader, how he can read. So all those principles are given there. So here he is saying that one should take care of these 7 elements, then he will be happy. And and especially when a king, when he depends upon his associates and follows their instructions, he will become happy. So in that way, and associates also, when they also offer their gifts and follow the king, they will also become happy. So there is a mutual cooperation between king and his subjects. So ministers, guru, so they all give suggestions. So when the king, when he depends upon their suggestions and follows them, so someday he will also become happy. And all the other dependents also, when king gives order nicely in this way, when they follow and they also respect king and give these kind of gifts to king, pay taxes, they will also become happy. In that way, mutually they will become happy. So then, therefore, he is saying that all your dependents, are they under your control? Like dependents means here, so many people depends upon king, his wives, his citizens, his ministers, servants, everyone, they depend upon the king. So all they are under your full control, right? So that means the king has to control over, he has to protect all the citizens. For this, he has to have control over his own king, his own ministers, and also he has to have control over overall all the citizens' satisfaction, right? So we are seeing so many cases where a ruler, if he is not satisfying his citizens, citizens may also overthrow the kingdom, right? Where we are seeing. So, and also he should be controlling all his ministers and who are all supporting him. If he is not able to control them, if they are not controlled, they can also overthrow the king. So that's what we are seeing. So these are all principles which are Vedic, which are mentioned in the Shastras. They are there, they apply for every kingdom. If someone takes this advantage, they will gain. Otherwise, they will not gain. So that's what we are seeing. Bhagavatam and Mahabharata, all these things, they are giving principles. So how can a king can satisfy his citizens and control his citizens, his ministers? So that will be possible only when, if he controls his mind. If his mind is controlled, then he can control, like naturally when he is his mind is controlled means everyone, like he is, like he has his emotions under check and everything. So therefore everyone will also be under subordinate to him, they will respect him. But if his mind is not controlled, if he is so whimsical, so random and is not able to control, then others also will not respect him and will not be under his control. So therefore, principle that he is giving Angira Muni, that if his mind is controlled, everyone will be controlled. So in this way, he gave some principles of satisfaction, or some principles how a king should rule. So then after giving those, then as a Rishi, he understood that king is having some anxiety, some unhappiness, because he is a sage, and in general these sages can, just by seeing the face they can understand, and also they knows what is happening, and these things also by their power they will be know. So they says that it seems that your mind is not so much pleased, and you are feeling that something is lacking in your goal. Is it that is it caused by your own mind or caused by others? What is the cause why you are so much anxiety? So hearing that, Angira Muni, although he knows these things, he inquired. So Chitraketu, he understood, he was a great personality, he was a great Rishi. So he also started speaking. He started speaking that because of your austerities, knowledge and everything, you know everything. So although you know everything, still you are asking, so you understand what is happening in every one of our hearts. We are conditioned souls. So still, since you are asking, So let me tell you, in order to obey your order. So I will tell you that, oh, although I have so many opulences, so many desirable things, even other persons, so many people want these opulences and everything, but still I am not at all happy with all those things because I don't have any son. So although these things are there, still I am worrying for son, because my descendants and I will go to darkness of hell because of not having son. So therefore I want a son. So please give me a son who will deliver me from hellish conditions. So in this way, because his consciousness was focused on only this thing, so he is asking for this son here. So Angira Muni, he understood that his consciousness was completely focused on getting a son. So therefore, in order to fulfill the desires of Chitraketu, he performed a yajna, and in that yajna, he performed a sacrifice to Tvashta. So you see the connection here. He performed a sacrifice to Tvashta. So later on, like when Chitraketu, he was cursed, he was born from Tvashta. So there is some small connection there. So, and so that he cooked some kind of sweet rice and offered it to that Tvashta, and also that in that way that remnants were given to the Angira, this Chitraketu's first wife, Krutadyuti. He had so many wives, out of them he gave to first wife Krutadyuti to get son. And that Angira said, you will get a son who will cause Harsha and Shoka, means happiness as well as lamentation. So happiness and lamentation, Chitraketu thought that, oh, I will get happiness because naturally I am getting a son, but I will also get lamentation because he is the only son, and he will become some proud of his wealth and empire, and he will not obey me. So therefore, I will get lamentation also. But anyway, this lamentation is tolerable because at least not having son, at least having a disobedient son is better than having a not having a son. So if you remember, Anga, when he is contemplating, when he was being troubled by Vena, he kind of said same things in opposite way. It is better not to have a son who is causing so much trouble than to have a son who is kind of giving a lot of trouble. Later on, his thought process changed. Maybe it is better to have a son who is not listening, because at least he will cause renunciation, detachment he will arise. So like that, his thought process changed. So here he is thinking that Chitraketu, that if you had a son who is Harsha Shoka, means Shoka, he will cause lamentation because he doesn't listen to my words. So in this way he thought. So in this way he thought, and he became happy. So after some time, Krutadyuti became pregnant by Chitraketu, and also by drinking that payasam, she became pregnant, and a son was born, and that son was everyone became happy, especially Chitraketu became so happy and gave a lot of charity to all the Brahmanas. He invited all the Brahmanas and performed so many rites, and he gave charity because in general, in Vedic culture, whenever someone is happy, that was celebrated by giving gifts to Brahmanas, giving donations and gifts to Brahmanas. In that way it was celebrated. So he kind of very much happy, and he asked all the Brahmanas to bless his child, so that he will become so like his health is like his duration of life, everything will be proper. So in this way he performed. So in this way, while he was growing slowly, he has attained very rarely So therefore, he has strong affection for this Chitraketu. So it increased, and also Krutadyuti's also affection increased very strongly. So in that, what he was doing is that one mistake that this king was doing, he had developed his strong affection for Krutadyuti and started neglecting his other wives. So because of that, other queens, they became agitated and they started discussing among themselves. So they like so much he neglected, so that they started discussing, that they started lamenting, discussing among themselves. So they started saying, they started feeling envy and lamentation like that. So they started saying that, oh, how condemned we are, how condemned are people who doesn't have their children, because they are neglected by their husband, and they are people, like they are dishonored by people who have children, and in this way that woman is like kind of condemned in many ways. And even the dasi, maid servants, they are respected by the king, more respected by the king, and we are even less than, we have become like servant of those maid servant, because when the dasis, they serve the king, they will get respect from king, but we have become so low that we are uh, servant of these dasis. So like that they are lamenting. So here if you see, in that way they became so envious that slowly this negative feeling, this envy became so strong. It went to such an extent that they they gave poison to kill the son. So in this way, their envy so much grew and gave son. They administered poison to the son. So here we can see, we can observe some things here. So one thing is that as a king, he needs to see, like he needs to take care of everyone. But if he becomes so much affectionate to one person and one thing, he may start neglecting other people. So that's what happened here. King, although he may give some affection for Krutadyuti and son, but he, out of in that illusion of so much affection, he neglected all other wives. So that is a mistake from king that he has done, and even maybe that may extend to Krutadyuti also. But here the other wives, they are also like they may like if we see these, all these wives, they may be, because he is a king, he naturally is a Vedic king, and like it was previously mentioned, all his king, earth was producing all the nice produces, and he is very dharmic, that we can understand. So therefore he might have married all the people, all these queens are coming from dharmic families, that means by nature they are all very good, but because of his neglect, he kind of drawn that negativity out of them. And these queens also, like instead of becoming happy to have a son, that considering, like they may have considered that son as their son also, but they kind of harbored these feelings of negativity, and it extended in such a way to become like giving, acting also. So if we see that sometimes if a king gives partiality or shows some respect to some particular queen, some particular other person, they will suffer. We will see in the case of Suniti and Suruchi also, when she became so much favorable to Suruchi, Suniti was neglected. So, and also if we, like in Ramayana also, it was mentioned that Dasharad Maharaj, he was so much favorable to Kaikeyi, and Kaushalya and others, he was like little bit not as much affectionate towards Kaikeyi. So there Kaushalya also lamented, your king doesn't give so much respect like that. So, but if you see the behavior of Lord Ram, although he had these three mothers, he equally respected all of them. And also the other mothers who doesn't have any sons, Lord Ram respected the other mothers also. So in this way he treated equally. And even Krishna also, like we often discuss this, Yashoda and other gopis, they also want to have Krishna as their child, but they never envied Yashoda. They always desired the position, means they always want to have the feeling that, oh, Krishna could also become my son. That feeling they have, but they never envied Yashoda. They had their appreciation for Yashoda. So because of that, we see that Krishna became their son also for 1 year. Krishna fulfilled their desire also. So if someone is having something which we are lacking, so instead of envying them, we can appreciate them. So in that way, Krishna also fulfills our desire. But here, these negative feelings, they become so strong, and like in general, we say that some negative feeling is there. If we are contained, that is like jealousy, and if someone is acting also, that became so much heavy that he is acting on that became like envy kind of action it became. So it is like so condemned, so they administered poison. So in this way, when he was administered poison, that Krutadyuti, she doesn't know that he was died, so she thought that he was sleeping for a long time, and after some time also he is not getting. Then she told maid servant to check what he was doing. Then maid servant, when she went and checked, that child was actually dead. So as soon as, because his eyes were up, so as soon as she saw, she started crying. Immediately Krutadyuti understood something wrong, and she went there and immediately saw that the child was dead, lying there. She fell to the ground, crying that now I am doomed. And then everyone, also other people, she became unconscious, started crying. All other people in the palace also, they came seeing those lamentation, and everyone understanding that this happened, they started lamenting. And the Chitraketu, when he heard this news, he also became like almost blind, and because already he has like so much, it's so much hard endeavor, he attained this son. So when that was lost, he kind of became like so much upset, and he was surrounded by his ministers. Everyone was lamenting. When king was looking like a madman, his hair and dress scattered. He was like breathing heavily. So he was like getting conscious and again getting unconscious. So in this way, he was like so tearful, and he is not able to speak also. So in this way, king's position Chitraketu was lamenting. And Krutadyuti, he saw the king in this condition, and she was also lamenting. So in that lamentation, Krutadyuti expressed some of her feelings. So while she was in extreme pain, she was kind of talking and speaking. So in that speech, she was kind of accusing providence, accusing the Lord. So we'll see, we'll discuss what she is accusing. So he is like she is telling that अहो विधातस्त्वमतीव बालिश यस्त्वात्मसृष्टि अप्रतिरूपमीहसे परेनु जीवति अपरस्य यामृति विपर्ययश्चेत्त्वमसि ध्रुवः पर. She is saying that, Aho Vidata, O Providence, Tvam ativa balisho, you are very, very childish. Because why you are childish? Basically saying the providence or the Lord, you are yastu atma srushti apratirupam ihase. You are creating this world, but you are doing opposite thing which is desired. You are performing things which is not desired. So because when parenu jivati aparasya yamriti, when a person who was previously born, that was person was living, but the person who was born, that person is dying. So this is like viparya, this contradictory, this you have created. So therefore you are like not a real friend, you are like a para, you are like an enemy. So like this is like accusations in general we hear of the Lord, that when they see that someone is when they attain some miseries, so that time they are kind of accusing the Lord as their enemy. He is the cause of my suffering. The cause of lamentation is the Lord. Why he is causing? Because he is foolish. So he doesn't have intelligence. Balisha. So, and she is kind of advising the Lord only that because you have caused the death of his son, you have created these laws because the law, the kind of law, kind of that during the lifetime of a father, their son should not die. So, but now this happened. So, therefore, you are opposing your own laws. So, and if you are do like this, you are opposed to your own contradict laws, then you are like enemy. So, in this way, he's saying, first of all, she is like creating that, she's saying that this is a law that when elders are living, the child should not die. And if that is the law, like that is a problem in this world if children die without like when their father's living. So you are, because you are doing these things, because that's how you are acting like our enemy. So in this, because you are making us suffer, in this way she is accusing. And then she is saying, but the Lord may say that that actually this is what I have not done anything. These are done by the karma. So karma is actually everything depends upon the karma, previous activities. So then she is saying that if there is no rule that a son should not die while the father lives, then what you are doing, if everything depends on karma, then what you are doing? So like in that way she is like kind of questions, means basically like if everything is being done by karma, what you are doing? So then like this is like I also like I like everything happens under my direction. So like in that way the Lord may say, so I control everything. So if that is like under your control these are happening, so then you only created this Sneha Pasha, this affection for all the living entities, for to raise the children. And if you only cut off these bonds, so then that is like that is your like kind of foolishness. So in that sense, therefore you are not behaving properly. So these are the accusations that Krutaditi is giving to the Lord. You only created bondage. If there is no bondage, then people will not raise their children affectionately. And you are cutting these bondages. So therefore you are not acting wisely. So you are contradicting your own creation. So in that sense, if karma is only control, then what is your role? And if you are there, then why this you only created affection, and why you are, she is telling. So for that, like Prabhupada gives some comments, we will see. Okay. So first thing he says that Prabhupada says, actually it is not the creator but the conditioned soul who is inexperienced. He does not know how the subtle laws of fruitive activity work, and without knowledge of these laws of nature, he ignorantly criticizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So actually everything, happiness or suffering in this world, everything happens by the karma in this world for everyone. In general, who are not devotees, for them the karma will take over. Karma based on their past activities, it will award happiness and distress. So there is no rule that when one will die. So based on their past activity, the karma, Maya will award. But for who are devotees, for them the little bit differently it will act. It will like karmani niddhati kintuja bhakti bhajam. Whoever performs bhakti, for them the karma will reduce. So for them the Lord will control, and his suffering will be awarded by the Lord, so that he will rectify himself, or his anarthas will reduce. That is for the sadhaka. And for the pure devotees, Lord will give his sufferings because in order to show to the world how he is dedicated, or in order to increase the love. So these are the various ways that are discussed. So in general, the materialists, when they say that when they are accusing the Lord that because of why you have created these affections and why you are cutting, so they are they are saying that the Lord, actually the Lord is the cause of my suffering. So there is whenever suffering comes, it is sometimes it is a nature that we point out that suffering towards others, and in others the Lord is also included. First of all, many times it may go because of the Lord. If he only would have not created like this, then I would not have suffered. Sometimes the question is also asked, why the Lord has to create this material world? Why so much suffering should be there? If he has not created, then there will be no suffering. So like that, the question always goes towards the Lord. And sometimes it is also for other living entities also, they are the cause of my suffering. So like that, this may divert. So here the one thing we can understand is that for whoever is non-devotees, for them everything is being taken care by karma only. Means their desires, which is like free will, that is given to them according to free will, how they are utilizing. Based on that, they will attain certain kind of body, certain kind of sufferings and happenings. Everything is taken care by karma. But if someone says only karma, then as here the accusation is coming, what Lord is doing, that question may come. So therefore everything is, karma is like intermediate cause, but ultimately the real cause is the Supreme Lord. Under the direction of Supreme Lord only this karma is working. So karma is intermediate cause, but the Supreme Lord is the ultimate cause. But when the Lord is ultimate cause, again the direction goes, you only caused my suffering. So therefore it was said that Lord is ultimate cause, in the sense he is setting the systems, but accordingly how we perform, based on that the results will come. So sometimes in order to not directly blame the Lord, the kala factor is sometimes is addressed. Your time factor, no one can understand your plan. Your time factor is causing all these things. So like that, kala is also given. So that because For the materialists, the time factor only will work. Time factor and kala, they will work together and will make. But for the devotee, slowly the Lord will start acting. So in that way, their karma will reduce. So in that sense, and this choice is actually because the Lord has given this free will. Because of that free will, the living entity chooses what to do, and based on his free will only, he is given all these circumstances. So therefore, when a living entity ultimately, when he kind of develops this mentality of not accusing other living entities or the Lord and accepting all their suffering of their own deeds, that person actually becomes eligible for liberation. That's what Brahmaji says. Tattenukampam susamikshyamanam bhunjana evatmakrutam vipakam rudvag vapurbir vedadan namaste jiveta ye mukti pade sadaiva. Right? We know this shloka that whoever is experiencing their sufferings, Atma Krutam Vipakam, all their sufferings, Vipakam is coming from Atma Krutam. I only, because of my only deeds, I am offering. So in that way, Hrudvag Vapurbir Vedadan Namaste, with their heart, mind and words, if they continue to offer respects to the Lord, that person becomes very great in the eyes of the Lord. So therefore, he is saying, Mukti Pade, he is eligible for Mukti, Brahmaji is saying. So because he attracts the heart of the Lord. But on the other hand, if someone blames the Lord or the living entities without understanding complete picture, then that is like he is not acting properly. So that is what happening here, Krutadyati. So in this way, she is lamenting and she is saying, oh, my child, get up, you are slept for a long time, please get up. Your father is seeing, everyone is waiting for you to get up. You deliver us. You are the only reason for delivering. Why have you left us and went to this Yama? This merciless Yama has taken away. You come back. So like that, I am not able to see your loving face. You are not able to hear your pleasing voice. So in this way, she is lamenting and everyone was seeing that situation very much aggrieved. So at that time, the whole kingdom was lamenting, undergone into that lamentation. That time, Angira Muni and Narada Muni has come, and they enlighten all these people. So in the next section, like Bhagavatam, in certain episodes highlight certain incidents. So in this incident, like one in this chapter especially, the attachment to one particular thing, any attachment to any particular thing will lead to lamentation later. And then next episode will deal with the same theme, but someone like someone experiencing these things, if someone wants to get release, or if you want to direct someone how to release from these kind of suffering, if you study carefully next chapter and next to next chapter, how Narada Muni and Angira Muni, they pacify Chitraketu, we can learn that. So these are the some discussion thoughts we have discussed today. So I will stop here. So if someone wants to leave, they can leave. If someone has some questions or discussions, they can address. Yes, Divya Gauranga Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice class. Through this conversation of Pritadyuti and how she's talking to Lord, we get a lot of explanation on many times we have certain questions in life. But Prabhuji, I really liked, I know that the time factor works. Recently, I was reading. But as you said, it works. I'm just trying to tell my understanding, tell me if it is correct. The time factor works for those who are basically not completely surrendered to the Lord. So whatever karma they do, based on that, they will get the reaction. And but at the same time, we have this free will, the choices we make, and the devotee depends on Krishna and following the teachings of the Shastra, devotee will lead the life. Then, in that case, even when he's suffering, he will understand that this is due to my own past karma that I'm suffering, and I've only got a token of the actual suffering I will get. So, in that case, in that way, he's always grateful to Lord and goes on doing bhakti along with the suffering. Then, as you said, Tattenukampa applies there, that Lord will also be pleased with that devotee. So, basically, Prabhuji, you said that Lord has created this system for us in the material world, and we have to basically live with that, the rules and regulations. And if we surrender to the Lord, then these karmic reactions, it's like for every person, what is working depends, no, right, Prabhuji? That whether it is kala, time factor, or their karma, or Lord may intervene if it's devotee, right, Prabhuji?
Correct, correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Lord will
Yes.
take control of the person based on the amount of his surrender in order to purify him or in order to bring him closer, in order to increase prema. So in that way, several ways, Lord will start acting on the devotee.
Yes, Prabhuji, that's nice. And also, the time factor works. But then, say for example, in Kali Yuga, the demons and are more powerful. But we can see that even though Vritrasura is demon, he is a devotee. So he made the conscious choice of surrendering to Lord, even though he is in the body of a demon. And normally, demons are in the mode of ignorance, but he is in sattva, like pure goodness, right, Prabhuji? So it's also up to us, if we are in Kali Yuga, to take to the right conscious choice. So then time factor doesn't work, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, yes, Mataji. So nice understanding you have given. So basically, like whatever we may be, if you are practicing bhakti, then like we have to learn to see our sufferings as that for all these sufferings, first thing we have to think that, oh, because of Lord want to purify me here, or he want to get rid of some anarthas. That's why these some mistakes I have done. Because of that, I am now getting this suffering. So in this way, we should be learning to becoming grateful for the Lord, practicing slowly, and thanking the Lord for that also. So and
Thank you.
yeah,
Yes, Prabhuji.
in this,
Sorry, my last question, Prabhuji. When in our family someone is very ill, or like we know that they don't have much to, like they won't be around for long, they're critical. So what, along apart from chanting and Shringa Kavacha recitation, from Bhagavatam, Prabhuji, what should I read to that devotee or family member, or anything from Bhagavatam I should read, or any particular canto or topic I should read to them?
like the especially if he is like in that situation,
Mm.
the wonderful pastimes of Krishna, maybe this is like there is no specific answer or something I have not heard or
Yeah.
anything, but I'm just speaking from whatever I know. So maybe the like the wonderful enchanting pastimes of Krishna, where it is reminding of that person of Krishna, that if you remind, that will be more helpful. So I will narrate one small incident. You may have heard Stoka Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Stoka Krishna Prabhu, what Maharaj did was, when he was known that he will leave his body, Maharaj, he kind of disconnected him from wife and children and everyone. So basically, and he took him to the Chopati Mandir, and there only discussion about Krishna he kind of made. So basically, all other discussions, all those things, it should not come at the time of leaving the body. And mind consciousness should be engaged in remembering the Lord and his pastimes, those things. So in that sense, so that is a great help if we can make him remember Krishna and his pastimes, his associates. So that's how,
Yes, Prabhuji.
by disconnecting with all other worldly things.
Yes, Prabhuji, I will do that. Thank you so much. Very, very grateful to you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So thank you, Mataji. So we'll conclude our discussion. So next class also is like very sober episode where when Chitraketu was lamenting, Narada Muni and Angari Muni give so many lessons, so many philosophical aspects. So those we will discuss next time. Hare Krishna. Gandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.